Hi, Andrew Beattie, here with Pete Chapman from Enigma today. Pete's one of the executive directors here, well, he'll tell you what he does because I don't really know, but
that's what today's about.
We're here to start this video process about giving you something that you can use in your business. So, Pete, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Pete.
Over to you.
Yeah, so here at Enigma, obviously, as you said, executive director, and what we do is really work with businesses from end to end, helping them grow their business and grow their brand through a marketing lens.
So you talk about grow their business, what does that mean? Is it just growth by revenue? Tell me a bit more about that.
Oh, look, it really depends from our perspective what business problems we're looking to solve, and more, they're the conversations that we try and have with clients is less what tactics do you think you need to employ, but more what are the problems you're trying to solve, the classic what's keeping you up at night. So it really depends on what the specific business problem is, but really when you boil it down, my point of view is that marketing is all about growth, and what it is we're trying to grow will depend on the problem we're trying to solve. Sometimes we're trying to grow knowledge in the way a certain business does things, and that might be solving a problem that people think that a business does a certain thing but doesn't know it does a whole lot of other things. Sometimes we're just literally trying to grow market share or grow share of wallet with existing clients, or grow awareness about an issue.
So realistically, I mean, if you said why does a business really need marketing, like if you really break it down, it's awareness and growth.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think one of the mistakes we make in business is that we separate business we separate marketing and sales. The truth is...
Are they the same thing?
Well, effectively they are, absolutely. I mean, you've got...
But I think that's a good point. I think so many people don't realise how connected they are, or confuse one and the same too, the same function.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big problems is people think that marketing is this fluffy kind of colouring in department and that sales is tactical and very, short-term based. The truth is both at their worst are both of those things, but working together, marketing should be about long-term sustainable growth. Sales is a tactic you use within that mix to make sure the business is making money along the way.
So I come from, as you know, the accounting and business world. I like numbers. How does marketing and numbers work together?
Well, I think unless you're tracking your marketing back to numbers, you don't know what you're doing. It's like looking for your keys in a dark room. And the closer relationship you can have as a marketer with the ambition of the business at a numbers level, the more opportunity you've got to be effective.
Yeah, sure. Because I mean, we work with a lot of different businesses, and I come across all the time people just throwing money at, I guess, advertising is a key one, whether it be general media or, social media is the buzzword now. Everyone thinks I need to be on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook, but I don't think they really understand why. And to me, and I know we've had this conversation before, but outcome-driven marketing, talk to, I guess, the audience a bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think unless you're willing to understand what it is you're trying to achieve, you can't measure what it is you're doing, and then if you're not measuring it, why are you doing it? Too often we have conversations that are around the tactics that we might employ, and I think that's driven in marketing because everybody is a consumer, and they think that because they're a consumer, they know how to market to consumers. That's like saying that every football player should be a coach. I mean, they're fundamentally different things. Yes, you need to understand what's going to motivate the market, but you've also got to understand, well, what problem are we solving for the business? And maybe we don't need an Instagram campaign or a brochure. Maybe we need a different product, or maybe we need to look at the mix of our customer experience.
So then the relationship of marketing and business really needs to be that, a relationship and a constant communication, so that it can reset and maybe go to a different direction.
Definitely. I think the more that a business can make sure it's got people around the table that are I won't say qualified, but capable of helping drive strategic marketing, the better off it's going to be. The more you leave it to the tail end of kind of tactical execution, the less opportunity you've got for it to be truly effective.
Yeah, sure, that's good. So, all right, hit you pretty hard with this one then. Why do we hear so many hit and miss stories about marketing and marketers?
Yeah, look, I think it's a really good question, and I'm the first to admit that I think the industry has got a bad rap, largely that it's brought on itself. But I think there's really two parts to it. One, I think that business has historically treated marketing as a tactic and made the responsibility of that marketing that of somebody who's not qualified or capable of doing it, someone that's out of their depth. That, coupled with the fact that lots of people are masquerading as people who know what they're doing but don't.
Okay. So I guess for me, how do then businesses understand who to use, what to use? There's so many things hit them in the face now on social media, online. People saying they can do something. Myself included, if we're a layman and we're a business owner, and we're like, we need someone who's a marketer. What's some of the tips someone should look for in order to pick the right partner in this process?
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think that what you want ultimately is, I always talk to clients about pay for thinking and then work out where you can get the doing done in a really effective way. If you get the right people around a business problem to help solve it, from a marketing point of view, and hopefully you've got, business advisors there as well, like yourself, but somebody with a marketing lens and can go, I think we can solve the problem in this way. The solution that you come up with can be sorted out in any number of ways. You can talk to an agency in a traditional sense, you can work with freelancers, you can get some people within your business who've got some skill sets or like to do things as a hobby. The key is not starting there and going, Johnny's great on video and makes fantastic Instagram stories. We'll give him our marketing function, have a chat with somebody to help set the direction, and if video's part of that, get Johnny at the table doing it.
Oh, and look, and I'd suggest maybe also, not just for marketing, any field, but particularly in this case, talk to some of the people that have used the provider.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the other part of it, is the traits that you really want to look for is somebody that's going to, rather than sell you on a solution, ask about your business, and then just look for people they've worked with and what the relationships are like, for sure.
That's good. I guess then, what are some of the things you're seeing, current trends in for business owners, whether it be small business owners, large business owners, that business owners could take and apply, and some of the trends they hear about in the market? What is the buzz at the moment, and what should they be looking for?
Yeah, I think to be honest, one of the risks is the buzzes in the market. And I'm finding that particularly small business, but a lot of business is very distracted by all of the things that you can do and are starting to forget to give prominence to the things that they need to be doing as hygiene factors. So what I would say first off is stick to the basics and make sure they're right. Make sure you've got your segmentation right. Who is the audience that you're talking to? What markets are they in? How you're reaching those markets in fundamental ways. What's your pipeline look like? How are your referrals going? What are people saying about your business? How can you take the good things they're saying and amplify them? Really fundamental kind of drivers. We might use different tactics for that today than we used yesterday. But my biggest piece of advice would be, don't get distracted by the coloured lights of new tactics. Make sure you're protecting the patch and doing the fundamentals right, and then add to that in a test and learn way. You want to try Facebook. Don't turn off everything that you're doing to try it. Make sure that you've got your core elements going and test different things, perhaps once a month.
And I guess, just some of the things you quickly mentioned says to me that this isn't, a one size fits all, and I go in, I pay my money, I get a marketing plan. For a proper marketing plan, and a plan not just in where we place our resources, what sort of time frame should a business owner be expecting from where to go?
Oh, to develop the plan?
Develop and move to implementation.
Yeah, look, I think we always work to kind of, you want to make sure you're moving while there's momentum. Often we'll see clients that come in for a reason that they're either ready to step up, they've got problems they need to sort out, or they finally found some time to dedicate to it and they've wanted to for a while. So we like to work with that momentum. I work to about a 6-week time frame, probably from initial conversation. Spend the first couple of weeks trying to work out what to do, and then the last couple of weeks working with them and their team on how you're going to roll it out. And I find that works pretty well. The other thing is, I think that it's important to remember that you don't need the same people at the table all of the time.
Yeah.
So, with our larger clients here at Enigma, for instance, we will work with them all of the time, but they'll work with very different people inside the business depending on what it is we're solving. For smaller clients, we'll work with them in a really surgical way, come in for 6 weeks, solve their problems with them, and then work with them to work out who in the community, in the business, freelance, smaller agency community can help them ongoing, or who in their business can take on those tasks.
So, you know, you don't just work, I mean, you're not performing just and you don't have to just perform the marketing function for a business in entirety. You know, like for instance, if you've got a business that has a marketing person or people or function internally, you really can complement that.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's when the model works best, is when there's a sort of fundamental capability inside the business. Often that person will, whether talking about it or internalising it, feel fairly overwhelmed by the more strategic elements of the task, and maybe not even know how to translate what needs to be done, you know, to the leadership team, for instance. And we come in quite often and we will work with that marketing function, work alongside the leadership team and help be the conduit between the two.
Yeah, sure.
And that can be ongoing, you know, in a retained sense, or it can be one-off and then on a needs basis.
So tell me, I mean, and take your vested interest hat off here, but from a business owner, well, not only from a business owner's point of view, but just business generally, is it fair to say, you know, like they need an accountant, it's fair to say nearly all businesses, if not all, require a marketing function to their success? Yeah,
I would say so. I think that good leaders, what we call startup leaders, people who have a business idea, go out and do it and get it moving, will either be typically technical and product focused or sales and marketing focused. They're good in a room on the road with clients and they've got a base level of technical capability, or they're great technically, they've gone out on their own, typically in that circumstance through need, and they're floundering a little bit with the sales and marketing side of things.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's two people in the business, one does each. I find that in the first few years of a business's life cycle, in truth, those owners are doing a sufficient job of that, because the truth is you've just got to manage your costs so hard that you're trying to keep the business open and keep it operating and putting one foot in front of the other. But there becomes a point where when a business leader is busy ideally working on the business,
yeah,
and working in it in a technical sense, that they need to start casting off some of those things they're doing on their own. It's at that point, I think, it's really important to engage the right people in a marketing conversation.
Yeah, good. So I guess, you know, just to start to bring it all together, you said while sales and marketing need to work hand in hand, they're not the same thing.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, making sure you've tested, you know, and get testimonials for some of the marketing people you're talking to.
Yep.
You know, and I would say, I think one of the key things you said was, you know, maybe invest and pay some time up front to get that plan together and make sure they are the right people, rather than jumping straight into trying to solve and get a solution-based product or service.
Yeah, and the only thing I'd say to that as well is try and work with people who don't have a vested interest in one style of service. You know, love them dearly and work with them day in and day out, but there is no surprise that if you ring a radio station, they'll tell you that the best thing to do is run a radio campaign.
Yeah.
It's the same thing if you ring the Yellow Pages or Facebook, you know, or an agency that only does a certain type of thing. Really, you want to work with a consultant or a consultancy or someone you trust that runs a different business to say, what do you think the fundamentals are that are going to help us solve our business problems?
Yeah, very good point. And I guess the other things I picked up on there was, you know, we want outcome-based solutions. Yeah. So we need to be testing, we need to be measuring, etc., and see where we go. And with that, we need to treat it like a relationship and be communicating regularly,
yeah,
with the people we put our interest in or our faith in from a marketing point of view. It's not just a set and forget and see you later.
No, definitely. And I think the other point there is that if you get your segmentation right, understand who your audience is, make sure that you're creating marketing for them. You know, too often people sit at a table and go, oh, I don't like radio, or I don't really look at billboards. You know, unless you're going to sit there and buy every one of the products that you're trying to sell, that's irrelevant, because we're trying to reach an audience that are going to buy those products. You know, it's a very subjective field, which of course is part of it, but can be very dangerous.
Yeah, sure. And I guess, you know, one of the other things I heard you say was really about don't just go for the fad. You know, really get back and understand your market, work off fundamentals sometimes, and then see where it goes from there. Would that be a fair point?
Definitely. Invest in the strategy, and the tactics will work themselves out.
Good. Yeah. Any closing comments?
No. Just
Well,
we pretty much
I
covered.
got more out of him than I thought I would. I didn't really know what you did, so there we go.
There you go. There you go.
You know, thanks for joining me. First of many videos, and hopefully you can take something out of that and apply it in your business. So, cheers. So what do you do?
You just say, I think that's a wrap.
Oh, easy, mate. I've done a few videos before. We just go first take Beattie, mate. I don't care what it turns out like. It's just one take.
Smashed it.